Good morning, my name is Matthew Hugo from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Friday the 10th of June. Today's weather brief will cover a summary on West European 5-day average temperatures, the UK, Europe, Scandinavian precipitation, and finally global weather alerts. We will start by taking a summarised look at the mean surface temperatures across Europe. Between days 11 and 15, there remains some model divergence, and hence confidence levels are only at medium at best to suggest that temperatures are likely to be either near or perhaps slightly trending below climate averages across the majority of Europe. Confidence levels are somewhat higher for the 6 to 10 day period compared with previous days, given that there is some growing model agreement and consistency to suggest that temperatures will be either near or perhaps trending slightly below climate averages by 1 or 2 degrees across the majority of Europe. And finally, between days 2 and 5, confidence levels are high for temperatures to be either near or trending slightly below climate averages, particularly across some central and eastern areas of Europe, including Switzerland and Austria, for example, where temperatures here may be at least 3 or 4 degrees below climate averages. And we will now take a look at the United Kingdom in some closer detail. And beyond the weekend of the 18th and 19th of June, covering the 11 to 15 day time period, the majority of the available forecast models have temperatures now trending at least 1 or 2 degrees below climate averages. It should be noted that the solid black lines, as represented by the Metro model, has temperatures nearer to climate averages, and while this is a possibility, overall I expect temperatures to be trending slightly below climate averages, and as a result I do believe that the Metro model is a milder outlier. And between the 6 to 10 day period, covering the majority of next week, confidence levels are now medium or perhaps medium to high to suggest that the majority of the available forecast models are signalling temperatures to be near or trending slightly below climate averages by 1 or 2 degrees, as generally predominantly cool and unsettled conditions dominate across the UK. The following weather chart for Thursday the 16th of June helps to illustrate this situation, and as you can see, a large area of low pressure is expected to be situated over the majority of the UK, with a relatively cool west or northwesterly air mass circulating around this area of low pressure. And within the short term, despite a signalled rise in temperatures beyond the weekend and the 11th and 12th, over the next few days temperatures are forecast to remain at least 3 or 4 degrees below climate averages. And finally, taking a look at the latest ECMWF 32-day ensemble graph, and you can see up to the weekend on the 25th and the 26th, there is generally good model agreement between the other forecast models and the latest ECMWF 32-day for temperatures to be trending slightly below climate averages. Throughout the remainder of June and into the opening week of July, the latest ECMWF also maintains temperatures to be trending either near or just slightly below climate averages, and this is the expected temperature trend that I prefer across the UK and many western areas of Europe throughout the next 3 or 4 weeks. And now taking a look at the expected European temperatures in some closer detail. And between days 11 and 15, confidence levels are medium at best, given that there is some model divergence for temperatures to be generally near or trending slightly below climate averages across the majority of Europe, as predominantly cool and settled maintain themselves across most areas. The latest Switzerland model comparison graph helps to illustrate this uncertainty. As you can see within the highlighted red circle, there is a significant divergence between the forecast models in relation to the expected temperature trends. Some of the forecast models have temperatures at least 4 or perhaps even 5 degrees below climate averages, yet some are either near or just slightly below. At the present time, I expect a middle ground, and in the longer term, temperatures are likely to be trending slightly below climate averages across the majority of Europe. Between days 6 and 10, confidence levels have increased somewhat, seeing that there is some better model agreement with regards to the expected temperature trends, and at the moment that is for temperatures to be trending either near or slightly below climate averages, again by perhaps 1 or 2 degrees, but locally as much as 3 or 4 in some certain countries. The latest France model comparison graph helps to illustrate this situation, and as you can see within the highlighted red circle, which is covering the general 6 to 10 day period, the majority, if not all, of the available forecast models are either near or trending slightly below a climate mean of near 18 degrees Celsius. As a result, this is the expected temperature trends I expect across Europe between days 6 and 10, and that is for temperatures to be either near or trending slightly below climate norms. And finally, between days 2 and 5, there has been generally little change compared with the last few days, and that is for temperatures to remain slightly below climate averages, but potentially well below climate averages across some central and eastern areas of Europe, including Switzerland, Germany, Austria and parts of Italy, where temperatures may be at least 4 or 5 degrees below climate norms. And now taking a look at the expected precipitation totals across Scandinavia, and the trend from the last several days continues today, and that is for precipitation totals to be well above climate averages across the majority of Norway and some central and western areas of Sweden in particular. Here, precipitation totals in excess of 100 to 125 millimetres is expected over the next 7 to 14 days, which is comfortably 300% of normal. In contrast, many northern regions of Sweden and also the majority of Finland is forecast to be drier than average over the next 7 to 14 days, with precipitation totals generally trending below climate averages. We're now taking a look at global weather alerts, which highlight significant deviations from normal. And there is an emerging trend that after many days, if not weeks, of predominantly dry conditions across the majority of Australia, precipitation totals over the next 7 to 10 days are forecast to increase and become well above climate averages across many eastern areas of the country in particular. In some places, precipitation totals in excess of 100 millimetres is forecast, which is comfortably 300 to 400% of normal. The trend from the last several days continues today, and it is worth to highlight that temperatures across many central and northern regions of China are forecast to remain well above climate averages over the next 7 to 10 days. Temperatures are forecast to be at least 6 to 8 degrees above climate averages, with mean surface temperatures comfortably ranging between 20 and 30 degrees, but locally up to 35, as particularly hot weather dominates over the next 7 days at least. And finally, it is worth highlighting that after quite a cold spring, many areas of Canada and also across into Alaska are forecast to be particularly warm over the next 7 to 10 days at least. Mean surface temperatures ranging between 10 and 20 degrees is expected, which is comfortably 6 or perhaps even 8 degrees above climate norms. Thank you for listening to today's weather brief. Goodbye.